Thank you for joining us for this episode of This Ability Podcast. I'm your host, Mary Benoit. Joining us today is Ashley Benoit Olivier. Ashley, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I have interviewed you before, but it's been like 5 years. So I know that some things have changed and I'd love to catch up with you. So how's everybody doing?
Doing really well. Actually, I know so much can happen in 5 years. It's crazy. Drew is, he's going on to second grade. He's 8, gonna turn 9.
Where does he go to school?
He goes to Reshore Elementary.
Okay. Now, is he in a special education class or is he in the regular classroom?
So we were in regular ed. Up until last year, about halfway through, they noticed that he needed some more specialized, individual. So we did self-contain him with a special education group, and we saw tremendous success. I mean, he soared his grades. He went from having all F's to A's and B's.
Oh, wow. He's a smart young man.
Yeah. Transition into the
special education.
Special education really was what he needed.
Has he made some friends, I'm sure?
Oh, yes.
Because just going from the pictures that you've sent me of him in the past and from what I know of you and see on Facebook, he looks like a very social little boy. He doesn't look like he's too shy or anything.
He is not shy at all. He is the life of the party. He has so many friends. Everybody says, "Hey, Drew." Especially my oldest is going into 5th grade. A lot of times his friends will be like, "Drew, hey, Drew." Yeah. They love him.
That's great. How can you not? So let's talk about one of the first topics that I have on our list here is early intervention, because I don't think we had talked about it the last time we were here. So go ahead and tell me your experience with that program and what that was like for Drew.
The last time we were here, that was kind of like the beginning of our early intervention. I wanted to touch on that topic today because what I've seen now that he's 8, 9 years old, I've seen what that early intervention at a young age did for him now. His physical has gotten so much better. He runs, he jumps, he climbs. Those were some very hard things for him to accomplish. Still not as quite as up to par with his peers, but the early intervention was key in getting him where he was today. That to me is very important, especially, he's been in therapy since I think he was a month old. He had what they call torticollis, where his neck, we had to do therapy on his neck. Just keeping on with that therapy really has gotten him to the place where he can, we just came back from a trip from Arkansas and he was hiking with us, he was swimming with us, he was climbing rocks. And that I attribute that to that early intervention and getting those therapies in.
I remember when you were here the first time and we talked that he had a very compromised immune system. Is his immune system still very vulnerable or has it strengthened?
In the time since we last spoke, we have actually taken 2 trips to Philadelphia. We have actually pinpoint what is going on with his immune system, his protein losing. He has a protein losing enteropathy. We've pinpointed all of that with the cardiovascular anomalies team in Philadelphia. He still does absolutely have a compromised immune system. It's kind of difficult. We saw the specialist in Philadelphia who figured out that it was something with the lymphatic system. We did testing, lymphatic mapping, very specialized tests that cannot be done here in Louisiana. We went to Children's Hospital up there. They discovered that his thoracic duct is wrapped around his aorta, just causing the fact of him losing his protein so much, and even his IgG, which is what you need for your immune system.
Is there any type of remedy for that?
Right now we're doing a temporary fix. He's on a steroid, takes steroids every day, and then there is, actually what's funny is because Drew, in true Drew fashion, he's very, very specialized. And so the cardiovascular anomalies team actually said, we've never seen anything like this before. We've never read about anything like this before. We're not quite sure how to fix it just yet.
Okay.
So in true Drew fashion.
Right.
You know?
He's going to teach a lot of people a lot of things.
We remember they came in, after procedure. I mean, that lymphatic mapping procedure was over 8 hours. I think they were in there for 10 hours. Long time.
What does that consist of exactly?
So they go through different access points, and then they send dye, and so they look at it with the dye and see.
Is he in an MRI machine the whole time, or?
I'm not really sure. Some sort of MRI machine or something. The doctor came in. He was like, he's a special boy. The cardiovascular doc came in. He was like, he's one of a kind.
Yeah.
Because of this thoracic duct wrapped around his aorta, he loses his protein and he loses IgG. So he technically doesn't have a we've discovered in these last 5 years, he technically doesn't really have an immune deficiency. It's just that his body loses those immunities quicker.
Okay.
His doctor actually said that we could kind of hold off on and when he was 3, we were doing IgG therapy.
Is that the hemoglobin
Yes.
transfusions? I remember you speaking about that. So he
Yes.
no longer takes these.
We are right now, because he's not sick, haven't had any issues. His doctor approved him to stay off of them for now. Now
Good.
he does take antibiotics 3 times a week. Other than that, that's a big win for us.
Oh, definitely. I remember when you were talking about the blood transfusions, I thought, wow, that's a lot on not just his little body, but probably you as, mom and your husband as
yeah.
well. Like it's something you have to do,
Yes.
but it's something that like how you kind of go into nurse mode, like this is something I have to do. Yeah.
And as a special needs mom, you would know this for sure. We sat, like, it's a crazy feeling, like you need to give this to your child because it's gonna keep them safe, but at the same time they're screaming at you not to hurt them, and you're mom and you're not supposed to be the one to hurt
Right.
them. So it's a very, very teeter-totter there.
Right.
You're like, we have to do this because this is what keeps them safe, but at the same time you're supposed to be mom and keep them from having anything hurt them.
So Ashley, how did you keep it together, mentally? Or did you?
I
Or did
don't
you
know.
not?
Well, I do have to say, I didn't really keep it together very good. Sometimes you have to laugh to not to
Oh,
cry.
absolutely. I believe laughter is the best medicine.
And I have to say, my husband and I, our faith is very strong, so
Yeah.
that helped a lot in the right mental capacity.
What church do you guys go to?
We go to St. Edward's Catholic
Okay.
Church, and that's in Reshore.
You have 3 children total, right? How old are they? What are their names again?
Liam, he's 11, and then Lucy, she's 10, and then Drew, he's 8.
So y'all all go to church together.
We all go to church together. Actually, I sing at Mass, and so they sit with their dad downstairs, and I sit upstairs, and we all go to church together.
So he follows along pretty well.
Oh, yeah, he does. He has a very great relationship with our priest, so they fist bump. He's always saying, why Father Corey does this, or why Father Corey does that. So he's very inquisitive. He wants to know why we do this, why we do that. Lately, we've had a lot of why questions.
Curious.
He's
Drew.
learning, yeah. I'm like, go ahead, ask all the why questions you want, because that's how you learn.
Well, let's go back to the trip to Philadelphia. I know you had mentioned to me a while back about a team of airplane pilots. That's the same team that flew you guys out there for free. There was some type of medical, I guess, allowance for doing these trips. So can you tell us a little bit more about that group?
Absolutely. There's 2 groups out there. We've actually used both groups because we've been to Philadelphia twice. They are absolutely amazing that they have groups like this that help people in need. So our first trip to Philadelphia, we used Mercy Medical Angels. Both of these groups you can find online. Mercy Medical Angels, there is some stipulation with you have like an application to fill out. Your doctor has to clear you because you have to be able to sit on your own. You have to not need any type of medical attention, not anybody bedridden or whatever the deal may be. The patient has to be 17 years or younger. There are some other stipulations.
So you fill out an application?
You do. So Mercy Medical Angels actually not only they pay for the patient and the mother or the father, patient and one other person to fly. And then they also have ground transportation. So if you need train or if you you need a gas card if you decide to be driving there. Mercy Medical Angels offers those types of things.
Is there any kind of like distance restriction? Like, okay, so we're here in Louisiana. If I need to go to New York, will they help?
I think they help with any, the gas or the train, or which was researching them, because I researched them some more. That's a good thing to have.
As a special needs mom, and my husband and I, we both work, but anytime we can save money, we're going to try to do that.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
gas cards can be a huge help
Huge
too.
help.
Yeah.
Huge help. So yes, they have these different Mercy Medical Angels, and then that was who we went with the first time. We went when we went to Philadelphia. The second time we went, actually my sister found this group. They're called Miracle Flights, and I've actually seen some of they have like merchandise and stuff in the airports, like in the airport
like terminals.
shops. Yeah. They only strictly do commercial flights. They actually pay for mom and dad to fly with the patient. The only stipulation that they have those age requirements. You do have to be cleared by your physician. So, and both of these companies, they also have, I do remember having to give them, I don't remember if it was check stubs or like our tax documents. It's like a finance, it has to be with so many days before your appointment or so many days before because they have to get those flight tickets together. With Miracle Flights, we flew Southwest the whole time, which is actually amazing because Southwest will let families, there's no like seating assignment. So Southwest will allow you will call for families before the rest of the group of people so that the families can sit together.
In your travels, you guys have stayed at the Ronald McDonald House.
Yes.
Tell me all about that.
That, I swear, is like Disneyland. So actually, the Ronald McDonald House in Philadelphia was the very first Ronald McDonald House ever built.
Oh.
Ever. So that, they have a big plaque there that, tells you the story of the Ronald McDonald House and that they were the first ones to be built. They are so accommodating. They have a shuttle that takes you, so in Philadelphia, they have Children's Hospital, Johns Hopkins, and there's another one. It's like 3 major hospitals all on one block. It's huge. You wouldn't even imagine, it's like a city.
Yeah.
Big old city. We were definitely country come to town. They have a transportation system, so you can get on the shuttle in the morning, and it runs every 30 minutes. No matter what time your appointment is, you will always have a shuttle to your doctor's appointment, your procedure, whatever the deal may be.
How accommodating. And I'm presuming, Lexi's in a wheelchair. It's all accessible.
Absolutely.
I've never been to Philadelphia.
It's all wheelchair accessible. It runs 24 hours a day.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh,
Especially
wow.
for parents who are there. A lot of the parents there I met, their children were in ICU, or they have a huge NICU program out there. So a lot of parents were there, had to leave their babies at the hospital. So, if you get a phone call in the middle of the night,
right,
you got to get it. It was amazing. They have the shuttle system, so we didn't have to worry about that.
Now, your whole family went? It was you and your kids and Drew? Or
just me and my husband and
okay,
Drew, yeah. They do have, we absolutely could have brought our other 2 kids. They had families there that, because not a lot of families have, that support at home that can keep their other children when they have something come up like this. So there were a lot of families that did have the whole crew there.
So the Ronald McDonald House, I picture in my head like a big room with lots of toys and things like that. But what is it? Is it kind of like an apartment building? Is it like a hotel? Is it like a conference center kind of building? What is it exactly?
So it's kind of all of those things. And you walk in there, actually they have, you wouldn't imagine how much they have. They have this beautiful grand piano when you walk in, and it's available to anybody, especially me I play piano and I love to play piano. It's available for anybody to just sit down and play and make music. And music is so important when you're going through so much. That's a very important part of, has helped me, stay sane.
Healing, like faith and music.
Yeah, faith and music.
Now for me, you might want to throw in a little alcohol every now and then.
But they have a huge movie theater. So they had a movie theater, and we got to enjoy, every night they do a different movie. We get to enjoy popcorn. They have popcorn for us, reclining chairs, like an actual movie theater.
Nice.
You can actually, because the first time we went, COVID was like really, really, really.
So you guys were traveling in the COVID years.
We were traveling in the COVID years, yes. They had time allotments. You could go down in the morning and you could sign your name up for 8:00 tonight. I want to be in the movie theater, my family. And if it was available, then you could sign up for it. And so it was just you and your family in the movie movie theater.
So everything was free there.
Everything was free, completely free. They fed us.
And I'm presuming it wasn't a Big Mac.
It was not a Big Mac. That's what my husband said. It's like, how can the Ronald McDonald House not have a quarter pounder?
I just had to ask, okay?
It was not. Actually, they have, and I've looked up on the Ronald McDonald House website, they have, you can volunteer. Every night that we were fed was a company, and it was a company that their employees came and they fed us. It was a night sponsored. It was, barbecue or...
I see. So like a restaurant around the area would come in and cater, or...
Either a restaurant, or one night it was a law office, and it was all the lawyers that worked in the office and the paralegals and all these people who worked in the office. They came and they were in the kitchen serving us.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really giving back to the community.
Absolutely. Every night was a different local business that their employees came and they served the food or whatever that may be. And I mean, the food was very good. It fed us. It kept us from having to spend money. Food. There was always something there's these big icebox refrigerators.
Yeah.
Not icebox, refrigerator type things.
My husband says icebox. I'm like, what century were you born in?
I'm old soul.
No, you're not. I think his parents used that term,
Yeah.
and so it just kind of got inherited into his vocabulary.
So they had food there constantly. I mean, grapes, apples, oranges, you name it. They always had like cold sandwiches, always had protein bars, which was great, especially if you're like, watching what you eat.
Right.
They always had options for everybody, whether you were healthy eating or not healthy eating.
And then they put you up in a room. I'm presuming it's kind of like a basic hotel room type of.
Kind of like hotel room. We had a bed. There was like a twin size bed and then a full size bed. And then we had like really truly looked like a hotel room where it had a TV and they had a little refrigerator. There was a washer and dryer on our floor. Each floor has a washer and dryer, a kind of a line of them. Second time around, we were there for 10 days.
Okay.
So,
well, that's nice to be able to do laundry.
Yeah. And when I say they pay for they literally think of everything. The laundry, it was like 50 cents. It was like a quarter for the washer, a quarter for the dryer. It's 50 cents to wash and dry your clothes. And it pays for, they do have to make, because they gave you laundry pods. You don't even have to buy laundry detergent. You go downstairs and you say, can I get some laundry pods? They give you a little baggie of laundry pods to do your laundry. So, I mean, they have everything. You don't have to buy anything, trash bags.
Well, I'm really glad that you're talking about it, because I know myself and probably everybody listening, we've been to McDonald's, some of us more than once.
Absolutely.
And you see the little drop box by the checkout window or inside to support the Ronald McDonald House. And here, I don't know if we have any houses in Louisiana, but it kind of makes you wonder, like, okay, what is this money really going toward?
Correct.
What do they do? What do they do with the money? And it sounds like it's really helping such a great group of like you and your family. So I'm going to definitely continue to put my change in that little Ronald McDonald House
the little box.
dispenser.
They even have, like, if you do at the kiosk, they'll ask you, do you want to donate $1 to the Ronald McDonald House? My husband and I said from now, like, we were always kind of weary about that because, like you said, what is it really going to? Is it going to the big CEO of McDonald's?
Exactly.
Or is it really going to help? And no, he's like, I will forever continue to give to Ronald McDonald House.
I'm glad to hear that, because you're really one of the first people I've spoken to about the Ronald McDonald House. One of our previous guests that I interviewed via Zoom, Katie from North Carolina, she's worked with the McDonald Houses before. She would do care packages to bring to them. I don't know if she would stay there. She actually has stayed there, but we didn't go into detail about, as much as you have. So it's good to hear that. It really is.
Those care packages that, she spoke of, they go to all the families. So you go in, when you get into the Ronald McDonald House, they have a social worker that meets with you, and each time you go, they give you a care package. Whether it be, both times we've gotten these nice bags that are full with all kinds of toys for Drew. The last time we were there, it was summertime, and so they had their first ever summer camp, in-house summer camp. Each day, I can't remember if it was 2 weeks, it happened, it started like before we got there. When we got there, they were so accommodating. We had missed the deadline to go to a Phillies baseball game. They were taking
That's the picture with the ring.
They were taking a whole group to a Phillies baseball game, and we actually missed the deadline to sign up. And so I went downstairs and I'm like, can we please sign up still? I mean, we would love to go. Drew would love to do this. And they were like, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll put your name down. We'll get you tickets together. We got in at the last moment, and they paid for our tickets. Not only did they pay for our tickets, they gave everybody a $50 voucher to go get food or whatever.
Hot dogs,
whatever. It could either be used in the souvenir department or it could be used for food. And so, I mean, we had a spectacular time at the Phillies game, and Drew is now the hugest Phillies. He's a Phillies fan and a Philadelphia Eagles fan, because the time before that, the Philadelphia Eagles, it was during the Super Bowl time, and they actually visited the Ronald McDonald House.
National Football League, participating in things like that are the feel-good stories, because sometimes we don't hear about those things in the news, but it's nice to hear that they give their time.
Give back,
Yeah, give back, for sure. Yeah. Speaking of giving back and fun stuff, on a local level, I know that Drew has participated in the Dreams Softball League.
He has.
Tell me all about that.
He loves him some baseball. Like I said, he's now a baseball fan for life. I don't even remember how I found Dreams. He's been, in the league for 3-4 years now. I mean, we love the Dreams and what they do.
I think I had invited you to be a part of the Dreams, the mom support group.
Yes.
They have so many other things too.
It's not just baseball. And if you see they're out and about with their meat pies, you got to go get
the meat pie truck. Just for those listening, if they're not sure about it, Dreams has the meat pie manufacturing company where they employ, I think it's like 10 to 15 people with special needs, and they make meat pies, and that is their job. And then there's a food truck that they have, so they'll go out and sell the meat pies. So it helps to give money back to the special needs employees or Dreams, and then it's community awareness for them, and you get some really good food out of it too. I'm gonna tell you, they got all kind of flavors, and I believe they started doing desserts too, like that little apple pies now. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
I mean, what they do is amazing. Not like you said, not only do they do baseball, but they do bowling, and they do
this Camp Unique.
Yes.
The summer camp. Has he participated in that?
We have
not yet.
Not yet, because I'm not sure if we're at that stage yet where I could just leave him and he'd be okay. But eventually one day we will. The things that I see them post on Facebook are so wonderful. We really need that in our community.
I'm all about that. So I know you guys have a Facebook page for Drew called Drew's Journey. Do you still keep that up, or is that kind of on the back burner? No? Okay, you do?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I go through moments where I do post a lot. I do need to get back, kind of jumpstart that.
Yeah, there you go.
The reason why I haven't posted as much, because honestly, Drew's been doing so good that
there's nothing to report other than he's doing good.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing, Ashley.
We haven't been in a hospital in almost 2 years.
Holy smokes, that's great.
That to me blows my mind that we haven't even a little, not recently, the older kids had some type of sickness. I guess this was about 6 months ago that Drew also got, but he got better before he got better quicker and better than they did. This is weird. I was like, this is so weird that,
you're even saying it's weird. Yeah, because you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, he's going to be in the hospital.
Exactly. My mind was blown. And obviously it could be the antibiotics or the steroids he takes, but still, it doesn't matter. Whatever's working is working.
It's working. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about that we haven't covered?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We the Ronald McDonald House, I mean, I could go on and on and on.
I know. It sounds so incredible, and I'm curious to see how many locations they have and where they are.
They do have quite a few. They used to have one here in New Orleans. Since it has closed down, because New Orleans, the Children's Hospital in New Orleans has what they call the Hog House now, which is their monies go to help the Children's Hospital here in New Orleans.
That makes sense.
And I know they help those in Memphis at St. Jude. They have a big Ronald McDonald House in Philadelphia. They have a quarantine side and they have a regular health side. So if you're like on chemo or some type of immune suppressant type therapy, you go on the quarantine side, and it's only access is if you have a special key to get in there. It's not for just anybody.
That's nice to hear. That's regulated like that.
Yeah, it's very, very regulated. And if you have cough or any type of thing that we went, my husband, he was like, I'm like, stop,
shut up.
Stop. They're gonna look at you weird. Especially during COVID. We were there during COVID time, And here's my husband hacking up a lung. I'm like,
oh Jesus, shut up.
Stop.
Yeah.
I'm going to think you have COVID and you don't. It was wild. I'm like, I know you got a mask on, but still try to contain it a little bit.
Try to be a little discreet, honey.
We're not in Louisiana.
Yeah, they don't know us here.
That was fun too, Drew. My sister has a Cajun French line of, she does these cute little shirts, and Drew has one that says pas bon. We wore our pas bon shirt in Philadelphia and got so many questions. Why does that boy have a shirt on like that? And so
They probably don't know what that means.
No.
And they're probably thinking PA as in the initials of their city. So they're probably like, okay, bon, like good Philadelphia. Like they probably didn't get it.
Nah, not at all. So
Which pas bon is not good in French.
So we had got so many questions about pas bon and our shirt.
Cajuns going to Philadelphia. I love it.
Cajuns in Philadelphia.
If I ever go to Philadelphia, I'm gonna get one of those pas bon shirts.
We were out and walking one day, and I was like, Bella, just looking at something. I was like, Bella, look at that. And my husband said, everybody stopped, gave me the hairy eyeball. Why is this lady? What does that even mean?
Well, you take for granted things that you would say every day, or around here in Louisiana, we are a little different with our language. So yeah. Well, Ashley, it's been great visiting with you. Thank you so much for the updates on Drew and your other children. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you everyone for listening to this Ability Podcast. If you're enjoying listening to our podcast, be sure to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more video podcasts at This Ability Podcast for updates and new episode postings. Goodbye everyone, and thank you for listening. Help us grow our audience by subscribing to our podcast on iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast networks. Additionally, if you enjoy listening to our podcast, help us to be discovered by leaving a rating or review of our episodes. This will connect us with other potential listeners and help us to expand our audience. From all of us at This Ability Podcast, we thank you for your ongoing support of our mission to unveil stories that inspire and enlighten others in the special needs community.